Hey kids, for today, pag-uusapan natin ang differentiability and the chain rule. So, before we start, I'll leave a question muna. Given a function f, lagi bang nag-exist yung kanyang derivative? So, nung mga nakaraang meeting, uh, tumingin tayo ng derivatives ng mga polynomial, ng trigonometric functions, ng radical functions. However, ang daming pa nating hindi na-cover na mga functions, no? So, for example, hindi pa natin na pag-uusapan ulit si absolute value of x. So, sa tingin nyo ba nag-exist tong limit nito? So, let's try and see, no? So, by definition, si f prime of x, siya ay yung limit as h approaches 0 ng f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. So let's just plug in whatever we have. We have here absolute value of x plus h minus absolute value of x all over h. In particular, let's try and check kung ano nangyayari dun mismo sa x equals 0. So, kung tatandaan natin, yung appearance ng graph ng absolute value of x ay paganito. So, here we have x equals 0. So, let's try and see what happens at x equals 0. So, in particular, if x equals 0, we have f prime of 0 to be the limit as h approaches 0 ng, so here we have 0 plus h giving us absolute value of h, then minus absolute value of 0, that's just 0, all over h. And if you will recall from our previous discussion, on one-sided limits, kung tatandaan nyo, we established that the limit as h approaches 0 ng absolute value of h all over h does not exist. Bakit? So, kung i-drawing natin yung graph niya, we have it to be this one. So, here we have y equals 1, y equals negative 1, tapos ito ay x equals 0, no? So, kung tatandaan nyo from our discussion, kapag titingin ka sa right side, we see that the limit of this one is equal to 1. Right side. But, kung galing ka sa left side, you'll see that the limit as h approaches 0 is negative 1. So, dahil magkaiba yung ina-approach niya kapag galing ka sa left at galing ka sa right, we have that this limit does not exist. And dahil hindi nag-exist tong limit na to, automatically, si f prime of 0 does not exist as well. So, since limit as h approaches 0 ng absolute value of h all over h does not exist, it follows that f prime of 0 does not exist as well. So what have we established? We have here a certain function where yung derivative niya at a given point x hindi nag-exist. So, ano yung answer dito sa ating question? So, given a function f, does f prime always exist? The answer is no, no? And this is a classic counterexample that shows na hindi lagi nag-exist ang derivative ng isang function. So, the question now is, ano yung characterization natin for the functions whose derivatives always exist? And ano yung magandang properties na meron yung mga functions na ganito? So, dito na papasok class yung tinatawag na differentiability. And this is another property that our function has, which later on you'll see would lead to some very interesting stuff, no? So, for our definition, we say that the function f is differentiable at x0 kung nag-exist yung kanyang derivative, no? So, when we say differentiable, it just means that the derivative of your function at that given point exists. Graphically, ano yung sinasabi nito? Differentiability means that there is some sort of a smoothness dun sa inyong function. So, graphical interpretation is that the function, a differentiable function has some sort of smoothness at a given point. So what do I mean when I say that the function f has a certain smoothness sa kanya? Basically, class, ang ibig sabihin lang nito is that there is no abrupt change dun sa ating function. Hindi ka makakahanap ng mga corners, hindi ka makakahanap ng mga tinatawag na cusp, hindi tumatalon yung iyong function, no? So, no jumps, no cusps or corners, no edges as well. So some examples of functions that are not differentiable are the following. So some non-differentiable functions are the following. First, I can draw this function right here. Tapos, let's see, this one at x0. This one, class, hindi siya differentiable. Bakit? Hindi tayo makadefine exactly ng tangent line at this part. Hindi ko pwedeng sabihin na this one is a tangent line or this one is a tangent line. Ang problem here is tumatalon kasi yung ating function. Second example ng non-differentiable function could be this one. Let's try to draw this as straight as I can. Ayan. So let's say this one is the point at x0. Here, ano yung magiging appearance ng ating tangent line? Ang tangent line natin would be this one. And since we have here a vertical tangent line, this means na yung slope niya is undefined, no? So if you will recall from your basic algebra, if you have a vertical tangent line, undefined yung kanyang slope. So, undefined slope. However, what is the slope of the tangent line? The slope of the tangent line is given by the derivative at that certain point. And since the slope is undefined, that also means that the derivative at that certain point is undefined. So, f prime of x naught is undefined. And since undefined, see f prime of x naught, that means that your function is not differentiable. Then, third one right here, an example of a non-differentiable function could be this one. Oops. Let's look at this function right here. So, ako ayusin. Yeah. So, isipin nyo na lang na this one looks like a corner. Sorry, I'm not that good at drawing, no? Mas convincing. So, here at the point x naught, we have a corner right here, no? Ang problem here is hindi rin well defined yung tangent line nito. The tangent line of this graph is not actually this one. Hindi rin paganto, hindi rin paganito. So in this case, the tangent line here is undefined, no? So tangent line is not well defined right here. Okay? So I hope clear kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng differentiable and kung ano yung kanyang graphical interpretation, no? So let's recall some stuff again about the derivatives. If you will recall, we have this certain definition for a derivative at a certain point. And as you can see, it is defined in such a way that it involves a limit. And ano ba yung natatandaan natin before about limits? Yung limits, pwede nating tignan from the left and from the right. And since yung ating derivatives is defined using a limit, we can also introduce the same kind of concept. We can introduce a derivative from the left and a derivative from the right. So, pag sinabi nating derivative from the left, it's just this derivative right here, but the difference is that x approaches x naught from the left. Then for the derivative from the right, ganun lang din. The difference is that x approaches x naught from the right. Okay? So, ginagawa natin here sa derivative from the left and from the right is ini-split lang natin ulit yung pagkuha ng derivative by considering the limit from the left and the limit from the right. And here as a theorem, unahin natin yung theorem dito sa baba. Nabura ko yung theorem na gusto kong pakita. So I'll just write. So as a theorem, as a theorem from the theorem on one-sided limits, if the derivative from the left and yung derivative from the right ay equal, then it follows that f prime of x naught exists and that this derivative should be equal to the derivative from the left, and from the derivative from the right, no? So this theorem right here is just a direct consequence nung kung ano yung alam natin about one-sided limits. And that is mag-exist tong limit na to provided that these two limits exist and they are equal. Okay? So additional theorems on differentiability are as follows. First one, if f is differentiable at a given point, automatically that function is continuous as well at that given point. And as a logical consequence, we have the following. First one, kapag discontinuous daw yung function mo, automatically it is not differentiable. So this one right here is just the contrapositive statement ng ating theorem. Contrapositive statement ng ating theorem. Then the second one, the following are not always true. For example, if f is continuous, then it means that the function is differentiable. So as an example, we have kanina, f of x equals absolute value of x. This one is continuous at x equals 0, but it is not differentiable at x equals 0. Then the second one is just the contrapositive of letter A. It just says that if your function f is not differentiable, then it is not discontinuous. This one is not always true again, no? So this one naman is contrapositive of 2A. So ano lang yung sure tayo na laging totoo? We're sure that if a function f is differentiable, automatically it is continuous. Then as it's contrapositive, we are also sure that if the function f is discontinuous, then it is not differentiable. However, these two right here, they are not always true. Okay? Then another theorem, suppose f is continuous at x0. If these two limits exist, it follows that this limit right here would be the derivative from the left, and this limit right here is the derivative from the right. So, ano yung sinasabi nito, class? Basically, this one is telling us that instead of computing this limit right here, or this limit right here, or this limit right here, what we can just do is obtain the derivative, then kunin yung limit niya as x approaches x0 from the left, or as x approaches x0 from the right. So this one, this gives an alternative way of computing derivatives. Okay, so instead of using the limit definition that we had a while ago, what we can just do is obtain the derivative straightforward. Then after that, kukunin lang natin yung derivative as x approaches x0 from the right. Tapos yung limit as x approaches x0 from the right. Tapos yung limit as x approaches x0 from the left. Okay? So, let's have our example. So the question here, is this function differentiable at x equals 1? As you can see, what we have right here is a piecewise function, and this piecewise function has a breakpoint at x equals 1. So what we can do right here to get the to identify rather if this one is differentiable at x equals 1 is to differentiate each piece. Then after that, let's identify the derivative from the left and derivative from the right and show that they are equal, no? So we can use this theorem right here. Kunin natin si f prime. Tapos, kunin natin tong limit na to. However, we have this sentence right here. We can only use this theorem if the function f is continuous at x naught. So, we make use of the previous theorem. And to use that previous theorem, first we have to establish that f is continuous at x equals 1. And if it is not continuous, ano yung pwede nating sabihin? If it is not continuous or if it is discontinuous, that means the function f is already not differentiable at that point, no? So once we establish that the function is discontinuous, automatically it is not differentiable. But if it is continuous, we have to go down further to obtaining these two limits right here and show that they are equal to conclude that we have a derivative at that point. So let's start first with continuity. Continuity. So how do we check again continuity? First, we obtain the limit. Then, if the limit exists, we check the function value at x equals 1, then show that they are equal. So let's start with the limit. So take note, we are identifying differentiability at x equals 1. So kukuha tayo ng limit at x approaches 1. However, itong 1, this is a breakpoint of your piecewise function. X equals 1 is a breakpoint. And since it is a breakpoint, we have to check yung behavior sa left ni 1 at saka sa right ni 1 separately. So, kukunin natin yung limit as x approaches 1 from the left ni f of x. And if we say 1 from the left, what does this mean again? This means that we're considering values of x which are less than 1. And if x is less than 1, ang gagamitin daw natin na f would be this one right here. So we have the limit as x approaches 1 from the left of 3x raised to 2/3 minus 1. Then plugging 1 here, we have 3 times 1 raised to 2/3 minus 1, which in the end will just give us 3 times 1 minus 1, 2, no? Then for the second one, limit as x approaches 1 from the right ng f of x. We have here the limit as x approaches 1 from the right ng, take note, we are considering values to the right of 1. So that means the values of x are greater than 1. And if x is greater than 1, we use this one right here. So we have limit of x cubed minus x plus 2 as x approaches 1 from the right. And since this is a polynomial, sasalpak lang natin si 1 dito. So we have 1 cubed minus 1 plus 2. In the end, we get 2. And since we have an equal left and right side limit here, this means that this limit right here should be equal to 2. Okay? So now that we have the limit value, kailangan naman nating i-check yung function value at x equals 1. So if x is exactly 1, ang f of x daw ay ito, no? So if x is exactly 1, we use this one right here. So we have 3 times 1 raised to 2/3 minus 1, and this one is just 2. So what do we have? We have that the limit is 2 and the function value is 2. So that means continuous yung ating function at x equals 1. So since f of 1 equals the limit as x approaches 1 ng f of x, it follows that f is continuous at x equals 1. Okay? So now that our function is continuous, we can proceed to computing these two limits right here. So how do we compute them? So next, compute for f prime from the left of 1 and f prime from the right of 1. So how do we compute that? What we will just do is differentiate each piece right here. Tapos kukunin natin tong limit na to. Okay? So let's differentiate. We have here f prime of x to be equal to, so paano nga yung derivative nito? Since we have a constant power here and the variable here, we can just use the power rule. So ibababa natin to dito, then subtract 1 here. So we have 3 times 2/3 x raised to 2/3 minus 1, that gives us minus 1/3. Then derivative nito, since this is just a constant, we have 0. Tapos dito sa pangalawa, ganun lang din, no, power rule. Derivative ni x cube ay, so bababa natin si 3, we have 3 x raised to 3 minus 1, so that's 3x squared. 3x squared. Then minus, derivative ni x is just 1, plus derivative ni 2, it's just 0. So ang problem natin ngayon is itong bounds. The question is, same pa rin ba yung bounds? Will we still have this equal sign here? Unfortunately, wala na siya, no? So we are going to drop the equal sign here. So you might ask, sir, bakit po natin dinodrop yung equal sign? Oops, sorry, baligtad pala. Why are we dropping the equal sign? We're dropping that kasi if we retain that equal sign, it's automatically telling us that we have f prime at x equals 1. However, as you have seen a while ago, it's possible na yung function mo defined at x equals 0, pero yung derivative hindi defined at x equals 0. So sinasabi nito, upon differentiation, sometimes hindi na nagiging defined yung function at a certain point. So in this case, kapag meron tayong piecewise function, we don't know anymore if the derivative still exists at the breakpoints. So maybe I could write that down. So we drop the equality since existence of f prime at breakpoints is not assured. Okay? So now, what we can do here is compute for these two limits dito. So unahin natin yung derivative from the left. So we have f prime from the left of 1. So this would be the limit as x approaches 1 from the left ng f prime of x. However, since x approaches 1 from the left, this means that the value of x is less than 1. So gagamitin natin is this one right here. the limit of 3 times 2/3, this is 2x raised to the negative 1/3. And if you will check, ang makukuha natin here is 2. Tapos, the next one is derivative from the right. We have limit as x approaches 1 from the right ng, so since x approaches 1 from the right, that means that the x values are greater than 1. And kapag greater than 1, we use 3x squared minus 1. So we have here 3x squared minus 1. And this one right here gives, so we have 3 times 1 squared, that's 3, minus 1, we have 2. And since they are equal, this means, since f prime from the left of 1 equals f prime from the right of 1, it follows that f prime of 1 equals 2. And since the derivative exists, and it means that, so dahil nag-exist si f, ano yung ibig sabihin nito? It means that f is differentiable at x equals 1. Okay? So, paano ulit yung process natin here? What we did is showed that the function is continuous at x equals 1. And since it is continuous at x equals 1, we can compute for the derivative of each piece. But by computing the derivative of each piece, we are also dropping yung equality sign since we are not sure about the existence ng derivative at breakpoints. Now that we have this one, kukunin natin yung derivative from the left and derivative from the right. And if they are equal, that means that the derivative exists. And since nag-exist yung derivative, that means that the function is differentiable at that given point. Okay? So that's how we show that a function is differentiable. This time, we proceed to the second part of our lecture, which is on chain rule. So, ano yung sinasabi ng chain rule? First and foremost, si chain rule, this gives us a way to differentiate compositions of functions. And this is how we do it daw, no? So, suppose that the inner function g is differentiable at x0, and the outer function f is differentiable at g of x0. Then it follows that this composition right here is also differentiable at x0, and yung kanyang derivative is obtained in this manner. So, pinakauna raw, kukunin mo yung derivative of the outer function and evaluate it at g of x0. Then after that, you multiply by the derivative of the inner function evaluated at x0. Okay? So, paano siya ulit? Start with the outermost. Tapos, multiply by the derivative nung nasa loob. So, you might ask, Sir, possible po kaya na 3 or 4 na functions yung kunan ng derivative? Possible ba na composition of 3 functions? Possible siya, no? So, for example, if I have here the composition of f, g, and h, kunin natin yung derivative niya at x. So, sinasabi nito, by the chain rule, uunahin daw natin yung derivative ng outer function. Then, we evaluate it with whatever's inside. So, ang nasa loob ni f ay si g of h, no? Siya yung nasa loob ni f. So, we have f prime of g of h of x. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Then, after that, we multiply daw by the derivative nung nasa loob. So, ano yung derivative nung nasa loob? Observe that it is a composition ulit. So, by chain rule, ang derivative niyan ay g prime of h of x times the derivative nung nasa loob. So, times h prime of x. So, as you can see, iniisa-isa lang natin, no? So, first, derivative nito, evaluated by whatever's left inside, times the derivative of g, evaluated at whatever's inside, times the derivative of h of x. So, kung apat naman, let's say f of g of h of j prime of x, ganun lang din yung gagawin natin. We start with the outermost. So, f prime of g of h of j of x, 1, 2, 3, 4, times, susunod naman natin si g. So, g prime of, ang nasa loob ni g ay si h j of x. So, times h of j of x, 1, 2, 3, times, next naman, si h. So, times h prime of, ang nasa loob ni h ay si j. So, we have j of x times last si j. So, j prime of x. Okay? So, ang paggamit ng chain rule, we start with the outermost, then we work our way hanggang makapasok tayo sa pinakaloob. Okay? So, let's try and compute the derivatives of the following. So, let's find the nth derivative of f, where n equals 1, 2, 3, 4, given f of x equals cosine of 2x. So, ano yung ibig sabihin ng notation na to? This just means na kinukuha natin yung pang n na derivative. So, if n equals 1, kunin yung first derivative. If n equals 3, kunin yung third derivative. So on and so forth. So, kunin natin yung derivative nito. So, pinakauna niyang derivative, si f prime of x would be, so as you can see, we have a composition of functions here. Outermost function natin ay si cosine. Tapos sa loob niya ay si 2x. So, uunahin natin would be the derivative ng cosine, which is negative sign. So, we have negative sign of 2x times the derivative of whatever is inside. So, times derivative ni 2x. And derivative ni 2x is just 2. So, we end up here with negative 2 sine of 2x. Okay? Clear ba si chain rule? So again, you start with the derivative of the outermost, then multiply with the derivative of the one inside. So next, f double prime naman. Ang f double prime is just the derivative ni f prime, no? So this is the second derivative. Kukunin lang natin yung derivative ng first derivative. So we have here, since this is a constant, we can just copy that one. So negative 2 times, so kukunin naman natin yung derivative ni sine 2x. And derivative ni sine is just cosine. So we have cosine of 2x times yung derivative nung nasa loob. Derivative nung nasa loob, that's just 2. No? So we have negative 2 times 2. That gives us negative 4 cosine of 2x. Next, third derivative. So third derivative, kunin lang natin yung derivative nito. So since you have a constant, we can separate that one. Negative 4 times kunin natin, derivative ni cosine 2x, derivative nito is sine of 2x. So, derivative ng, negative sine. So, derivative ni cosine is negative sine times, kukunin natin yung derivative nung nasa loob. So, we have times derivative of 2x. This one is just 2. So, we have negative 4 times 2, negative 8. Negative 8 times negative sine of 2x will just give us 8 sine of 2x. Then, lastly, the fourth derivative, same as just what we have done. We can separate the constant, then kunin yung derivative ni sine 2x. Derivative ng sine is cosine. So, we have cosine of 2x times the derivative nung nasa loob. Derivative niyan is just 2. So, we have 8 times 2 equals 16. 16 times cosine 2x. 16 times cosine 2x. Is this clear? Okay. So, maybe as a thinking exercise, you can think of this by your own. What do you observe? Is there a pattern involved? So, try and think kung meron bang pattern yung derivatives nito, no? And in your homework, there's an item similar to this one, no? So, let's proceed to the next examples. This time, let's find the derivative of y with respect to x given this function. So, kung titignan natin, the function involved, you have a trigonometric here, pero yung trigonometric naka-raise to 4. So, if we will rewrite this function right here, so, rewriting y, this is just the same as saying y equals cotangent of 5x quantity raised to 4. So, kung titingnan natin, we have an outermost function here, which is yung raised to 4. Then, inside ng raised to 4, you have cotangent. But inside the cotangent, you have yung 5x. So, basically, we have a composition of 3 functions here. And because of that, what we have to do is apply the chain rule. So, applying chain rule, we have that dy over dx would be the derivative of the outermost function. And since the outermost function is something raised to 4, ang gagamitin natin here is yung power rule. So, ibababa natin yung power, then we subtract 1 here. So, we have 4 times cotangent of 5x to the power of 3. Then after that, we have to multiply by the derivative ni cotangent, no? But, ano ba yung derivative ni cotangent? Derivative ni cotangent is negative cosecant squared of 5x. So, we have negative cosecant squared of 5x. But, hindi pa tayo tapos. We still have 5x on the inside. So, we have to multiply by 5. Then, writing this one a little bit neater lang, we have 20 cotangent cube of 5x times negative cosecant squared of 5x. So we have a negative sign here. Tapos cosecant squared 5x. And this is our final answer. Okay? So, ganun lang siya, class, no? You have to identify the outermost function. Tapos, kung ano yung next outermost function until you reach the function inside. So, outermost function natin is the power. So, we applied power rule here. Then, after that, we have the cotangent function. So, kinuha natin yung derivative ni cotangent. Then, inside cotangent, you have 5x. So, kinuha yung derivative niya, we have 5. Okay? So, next example, let's obtain the derivative of this function. So, similar to what we have done kanina, we start with the derivative of the outermost function. And the derivative of the outermost function is... So, una, what's the outermost function? The outermost function is the cosecant function. And the derivative of this one is... Anong derivative nito? Negative cosecant cotangent, no? So, we have here negative cosecant of 2x cubed plus 1 raised to 4 times cotangent of 2x cubed plus 1 quantity raised to 4. Then what's next? We will multiply by the immediate function sa loob. The next function would be this one right here. And as you can see, we have a power. So, we have to apply the power rule. So, we have 4 times this one right here. 2x cubed plus 1 raised to 4 minus 1. So, that's 3. Meron pa ba sa loob? So, sa loob ng power, we have this polynomial right here. So, times derivative ng 2x cubed plus 1. We have 6x squared. Meron pa ba sa loob nito? Well, si x na lang naman, no? But, okay na yan, no? Since derivative niya is 1. So, we can stop with this one. And since we have covered everything, then we should be done. This is our final answer. Okay? Ang next example, kunin naman natin yung derivative nito. So as you can see, we have a product of two functions right here. And since we have a product of two functions, we proceed with the product rule. So if this is the left and the right functions, paano nga ulit si dy over dx? Si dy over dx would be left times derivative ng right plus the right function times derivative ng left. So once again, kinukuha ko to as my left function. This one naman as my right function. We have that dy over dx would be L. So 6x raised to 2/3 times derivative nung sa right. Ano naman yung derivative nito, class? So as you can see, we have a power here. That's the immediate outermost function. So we apply the power rule, no? So we have 5 times x squared minus square root of x raised to, so magsusubtract tayo ng 1 dun sa power. 5 minus 1 is 4. Pero we still have a function inside nung ating power. We have si x squared minus the square root of x. And derivative ni x squared, that's 2x. Minus derivative ni square root of x ay 1 over 2 square root of x. Meron pa ba sa loob nito? Wala na, no? So, we are done. Then, plus, copy the right function. We have x squared minus square root of x raised to 5 times derivative nung sa left. So, ano lang to, no? Power rule. We have 6 times 2/3. This gives us 4. So, we have times 4 x raised to, so magsusubtract tayo ng 1 sa power, 2/3 minus 1, that's negative 1/3. And that's it, no? Clear? Okay tayo with this one? So, last example, second to the last example, let's find dy over dx given this y. So as you can see, our outermost function is the square root. So that means, gagamitin muna natin yung derivative ng square root. That's 1 all over 2 times the square root of whatever is inside. So we have 1 over 2 square root of 7x cubed minus sine of x raised to e plus square root of 2 pi. Then multiplied by the derivative nung nasa loob ni square root. So kukunin natin yung derivative nito. And since you have a subtraction here, this means we'll just obtain the derivative of each term. So, derivative ni 7x cubed ay 21 x squared. Then minus, how about the derivative of this one? So, as you can see, we have the sine function. So, kukunin natin yung derivative niyan. We have cosine of x raised to e plus square root of 2 pi. But since you have something inside the sine function, kailangan mo pang kunin yung derivative niyan. So derivative ng nasa loob, since we have a constant power e, ibababa lang natin siya, then subtract 1 here. So we have e x to the e minus 1. How about the derivative nung square root of 2 pi? So, since we are differentiating with respect to x, this one should be a constant. So, derivative niya ay 0. So, sulat ko lang here for completion. Meron pa ba sa loob? Wala na, no? We have addressed this entire thing here. And that means we should be done. Okay? So, this is our derivative right here. So, paano ulit ang nangyari? We started with the outermost. So, derivative ng square root of x, diba? Derivative ng square root of x ay 1 over 2 square root of x. Then, after that, kinuha yung derivative nung nasa loob. So, derivative nito, 21x squared minus derivative nito is cosine of the thing inside. But since yung nasa loob is still a function of x, minultiply natin yung cosine with the derivative nung nasa loob. Okay? So, last example. Suppose capital F of x is this function right here. And we have the following given values. Hanapin daw natin si capital F prime of 1. So what we know is that f of x is a composition of 3 functions, f, g, and h. So to get the derivative, So, kunin natin yung derivative. What we have to do here is to use the chain rule. So, we start with the derivative of the outermost. We have f prime of g of h of x times yung derivative nung susunod, si g. So, we have g prime of whatever's inside g. Ang nasa loob niya ay si h of x. Then, after that, we're done with g prime. Sunod naman is derivative ni h. So, times h prime of yung nasa loob ni h, which is x. And we're done, no? We only have a composition of 3 functions. So, after this, salpak lang natin si 1 sa loob. F prime of 1 would be f prime of g of h of 1 times g prime of h of 1 times h prime of 1. H of 1 is 2. So, we'll have here f prime of g of, so si h of 1, magiging 2 lang siya. So, f prime of g of 2 times g prime of, so si h of 1 ay 2, magiging 2 ito. Then, times h prime of 1, h prime of 1 natin ay 4. So, times 4. Then, after that, we have g of 2 here. Ang g of 2 ay 3, no? So, this becomes f prime of 3 times si g prime of 2 ay 5. So, times 5 times 4. Then, finally, si f prime of 3 ay 6. So, we have 6 times 5 times 4, which is just 120. Okay? And that ends our discussion. If you have questions, you can message it to me or email it to me. In case you're not my student this sem, you can leave your question in the comment section, no? So that's it for today. Thank you everyone and goodbye.